Hello, I'm here again, and this time I want to add just in regards to property. I have discovered that many of the properties that were used with members of this family in regards to relatives and extended family, many of these properties were not registered properly. And a lot of them were transferred fraudulently. And as I take a look at the picture and whatever I have, I see that a very large source of money that was fraudulently done through a loan to get an amount of 96 million in regards to a large complex in Virginia. I see that that's not the only property, and there's several properties that many people have used without the government's knowledge of the truth, and it's goes very deep when it comes to people having more than 5 apartments or 5 houses that are not registered in a proper way, and many deeds transferred to the same people over and over just to get loans. There's a lot going on within our system and within this opium management under Ms. Archuleta. There's a lot going down on this because it's a repeat of what she's done prior to all this. And it's not only this woman, it's also many of the family members that have taken sources and money from the government to use for their benefit. And rules and regulations under the OPM, there's violations that have not been followed by many workers within the OPM, even this biological mother who seems to be the trustee. And under the HR, there's many things under this that have been abused within the whole entire programming of programs. And, we take a look at people who want a home, who want peace in their life and happy, and people who struggle to even get a home. And and some of us, we don't get it or have a chance to even get a home to call ours. But then there's other people within certain government. It's not the government's, it's the people who are working in the government who feel like they could deceive our government, like they could deceive and abuse our system for their benefit. And this also goes for stolen inheritance. They take their access of information and resource just because they have the privilege to work in the government, but they abuse it and they use it for their own gain and purpose to see what they can get out of it. And what I've experienced is that a lot of these people have gotten away with many things for many years. And when I discovered what this biological mother did to my dad's lineage, it really is a shock and it's hurtful, but this is what the ancestors wanted. They wanted her to be removed, and they want things to be looked over and to really open the eyes of the government, because a lot of things are being done under your nose that you don't completely see. Some of us spiritual readers or psychics in this system, which is not only me, there's a lot of them that speak of this, and it's really true when it comes to hearing messages that are given to us. And sometimes people don't believe in it, but when there's plenty of information in regards to this family household that has been expressed through many tarot readers, and I'm sure that they're being looked over. And the reason why I do this is because a lot has been injustice in regards to me and other people. And even though I feel, I've been victimized, but I am not going to sit here and act like a victim when I had no dealing in what these people do. I am only here to express my opinion and what I have seen and accumulated, and it's not fair for other people who want a home, and then there's people who just over exaggerate with taking other people's property and using it for free living expenses, and that's not right. When they have wasted and abused and mismanaged this trust, where they only thought of themselves, and there's several members in regards to this, when there's no right for these kind of people to do this anymore, because they're only destroying the system regarding our programs, our benefits for the people who really do need it, and for the people who really do need a home. They have, tampered into, misuse their authority, and they don't realize that there is really people out there that need a home, and the ones that are abusing the system for free home, that needs to stop because that money. We, hi, this is second message. We see a lot of things that go on in our society, and which I've taken a look at this family members and the society that they're living in, and it's very shocking how the people in this society has acted and agreed with the members of the Secret Seven. Um, I really believe that people who are acting within this group have went too far in many things, and I had a vision of something regarding Secret Seven in Virginia and towards that area, and it was really just a shock when I saw faces in some type of a setting that was improper, and it seems like some of our societies are not the same anymore. Um, I've never lived in other places before. I've always lived in one city, so I don't know how other cities live, but when there's environments of unsafety in a city and there's quite a few people in our society that believe in doing good, and there's people who do bad, you know, but when there's a society that has gained negative energy upon other people's tactics and beliefs, it affects the society, and it turns our society in different directions. And the directions could be good, it could be bad, but when there's children in a society that we live in now, and if you don't take care of the society and the people who want to live in peace, when there's criminals out there that are in the society, and those criminals or pedophiles or even rapists or even people who just want to steal and cause these kind of problems, it affects a society that you live in, because then there's going to be a lack of safety for anyone. That's a reason why I'm talking about this, because when there's a society, it doesn't matter where, it could be anywhere around the world, the country, in our own small town, we as people have to be concerned of who we deal with in our outside world, because there's so much poverty and so much madness and hatred and discrimination against other people, that sometimes people feel an anger towards other people with their aggression because their life didn't go right, or they just have mental issues, legal issues there's a lot of things in society that go through people's heads that creates anger, and then this is how injustice comes upon because they use their aggression on our public. And there's so much things that happen with all types of people in this world with regarding children, elderly people, or just the people who live in their homes and walk the streets, and people who do help. There's people who worry about this type of thing, about safety in our society, in our community, and a lot of this type of stuff is growing, and it needs to stop, because so many people are being harmed by people who just don't see that life could be better if they would just stop. But sometimes, people in different societies and cultures and communities, some people take the wrong direction instead of coming up front and, facing their own demons and saying, I'm not going to do this no more. There's people who need to balance their life and understand that if we're going to live in this world as humans, that society cannot be, vicious towards people, because we already live in a world that has enough chaos. And when there's a society of people who act like this, it's a sign that things need to change within the people in certain societies, of the way they think of the law, the way they think of maybe even an empress, or maybe the way they think of their own selves. How does people want to live in their society? you know there has to be morals and and respect among people who live in a society. But when there's clans of people who think that they have power over the law, or power over the community, or they could control this because they feel like they have their energies going in different directions. People need to learn how to respect other people's homes and other types of people in this world. But living in a society to build more problems, I believe that that part of society needs to be diminished in the way they act and what they believe in, and do things better for the community instead of looking for difficulties and conflicts and making our society worse. We live already in a impoverished world, and we need to take a bigger look at this, because when you see families in poverty, the ones that do earn it, that's the people that have the faith to better themselves throughout the community and in their own life. And how do we do this? Everybody who wants to do the change for a better life will do it, but some don't. So we live in a world of different beliefs and different cultures, different languages. We live in a world of many different ways, people's beliefs, people's faith, people's upbringing. Everyone is different. You know, that's why it's best, you know, to always stay on the scale of doing better than what you did before. But sometimes there's people who taken things way so deep and far that sometimes it's hard to repair what was done because there was so many things that accumulated for people that have taken advantage of certain things, especially in the community, and other things regarding their own society. So, there's so much to learn and relook of what goes on in our community and in our own home. And people have to start realizing that, you know, we as parents or we as guardians of children or even our own family have to, you know, protect ourselves nowadays because of crazy people who like to hurt other people, and some do it intentionally, some do it because they feel like it, or sometimes they feel some kind of revengeful. Sometimes they just do it because it makes them happy. There's a lot of things that people do, but it's always on the news. Something's always happening, and that's why we, as people living on Earth now, need to be really cautious of the people in our lives. And that's the reason why, what I've learned is I don't have to deal with certain people, and there's some people we have to deal with. Thank you.